Charlie, you're muted. Okay.
Yes, I just unmuted.
Yes.
It takes a minute there to yes. Well, well, any workshop that you and Terry had, I think I've been to all of them, and they've all been, uh, amazing. And you just learn so much that you can use in your everyday life, and it's just part of my spiritual growth, understanding, and awareness.
Yeah. Thank you. You've been taking a rocket ship to enlightenment, haven't you?
Yes.
I know.
Yeah,
How
I
about
see. It's going to be a good week. I seen you and met you this week, and I'm going to see Linda and Terry tomorrow. They're coming by, so I get to hug three of the P's.
wow, nice.
Yeah. All right.
How about you, Andrea? What made you want to be part of this
I think
little group?
Charlie made an excellent point. Anything you and Terry do, have I've learned so much. So as soon as there was an opportunity, I was ready to learn and excited that you guys were hosting another seminar. So pretty much I'll be there if you have one.
Good. My next one is going to be pie baking. No, I'm just
Hey,
joking.
I don't know how to pie bake. I'm there. That's fine.
Oh God, that's funny. Yeah, I
That
have
is
really.
funny.
I thought of doing cooking shows or demonstrations because I love to cook. But okay,
Michelle,
Suzanne.
I'll have to
Okay,
come, I'll have to come see you and we'll do butter chicken together.
okay, yes, that would be great. Grace Isis was coming in. Did you
She's
let her
here.
in? Oh,
She's
she's here.
here.
I don't see her. So, Suzanne, what interested you about this?
I am going to have some radical changes in my life this year, and I'm scared to death. And I take any help I can get, any encouragement, any like truth Mac can show me the way, help me maybe open some keys to, you know, just anything I can get out of this workshop to go through what I have to go through this year. So I'm excited and I'm ready, and I hope takes the fear a little bit away from from the future.
Yeah. Yes, we like to eliminate fear as much as possible, right?
Mhm. Yeah.
As much as possible. I mean, we're human, but how about you, Erica? You're
Oh, I'm okay.
muted.
I'm unmuted now. Um, well, this is the first workshop I've taken with you guys. And I've been working with Michelle for a year now, I think it's been. And I'm just all about self growth. And it's like, I think, anything I can do for self growth. I said something to Michelle one time, and it was like, what did I say? I'm, spiritually promiscuous. So
Yes, yes.
I want it all. I want to learn everything. And I love these kind of things. I used to do, in-person seminars all the time. And I don't know, ever since COVID, I feel like there hasn't been a lot. And I'm just like craving this kind of
Right.
stuff and growth and being around, like-minded people. I love it.
Yeah, that's where it's at. Thank
Yeah.
you.
Hmm.
Grace, Isis,
Yes,
are you there?
yes, I am. Can you hear me?
Yes,
Wonderful. Thank you. Yes, I am here. Am I loud enough or?
yes.
And thank you. And hello, everybody. It's wonderful to be here. And what was the question? What were we saying?
Well, I just was asking everyone to share, really briefly what was the reason, what interested you, what was the reason you thought, hey, I think I want to try this workshop.
Right. I
You
I
have
just
to put me in as.
yeah. I just feel that no, not I feel, I know I'm ready to evolve. And this is just another tool in my toolbox. And I'm just ready to see what it's about. It's fairly a new concept, so I'm excited, interested, and it's it's just part of the growth. So thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Let's see. So are we
We have
going to be
Linda.
where is she? I don't see her.
She just walked back into the other room, so give her just a second. Linda, can you hear us?
Yes.
Okay, so do you want to share, Linda? Linda?
I'm trying.
Okay, okay.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I just
Can you
was
see me yet?
asking. I'm sorry?
Can you see me yet?
No,
No, we don't
I
see
can't.
you.
There
There
you
we go.
are. Part of you.
Well, I'll fix that in a minute. I wanted to take the workshop. Is that what you're asking?
Yes, yes,
Because I
yes.
missed that first part. I also love self-improvement, and I'm having a couple issues that this can help me with as far as forgiveness and getting on the right path and following through. So those are my goals. And I'm happy to see everybody here, and I'm expecting a great day.
So are we. So are we. Who else are we missing some people?
We're missing Jean and Meg. I sent them messages, but I didn't hear back from either one. So I am recording this. So we'll send
Oh,
it.
they'll get that,
Send it
yeah.
out. Everybody will get the recording.
Right. And the other thing I just want to make everyone aware of is all of the exercises, you're going to get those as well. So, because they're repeatable, because we're going to try and narrow it down to one particular area to work on, but you can always follow the steps, and you can do it for, because it's usually not one area that our subconscious is working through or working on. It's a lot of different areas, but we're going to try and narrow it down to get really specific. And but you'll get all the worksheets and the recording. So, and do you all have pencil and paper? Yay, okay. Yeah, Erica have paper and pencil will travel, pretty much, right, Erica?
I love that.
And I love spiritually.
Can it be ink pen too, or pencil? Are we set on pencil?
Pencil, pen, whatever.
Good, okay.
Writing utensil.
But, Terry, do you want to just start us off with one of the things I want to say is, as we enter in this with a full heart, an open heart, and not any particular expectations other than we all would like to grow and evolve and learn. But, I always say, like, enter this with the mind of a child and not feel like it has to be a certain way, and also with curiosity, and because just take everything that you hear, and whatever doesn't work for you can always leave it, but like be really an open-minded, childlike version of yourself to enter into this, to have fun. And I think that's one of the best ways that we really grow and learn. But Terry, I would love for you to start us off with a brief little centering.
We'll do the heart brain. Let's do that. I also wanted to say that a lot of times not everything hits you right away. So if you're thinking, I don't resonate with that, or I don't get it, it doesn't apply to me, there may be a moment later on that it's like, aha, that's what's going on. So just like Michelle said, be open, because when you're open, then you're able to learn. And so I'm going to lead us in the heart brain. I know everybody here except Erica. This is my first time meeting you, and I'm so happy that you're here. So I do get to meet you. But I lead a little breathing called the heart brain coherence. And we connect our heart, the brain in our heart, to the brain in our head. And when we do that, it takes us to a higher frequency, and we're able to actually retain what it is that we are learning or conversing about or whatever. So I think that's going to be the best way for us to start this time together. So there's 3 steps. First one is to touch your heart center. It's wherever you touch on your body, that's where your focus goes. So we're coming from our heart today. So touch your heart, and then we're going to slow down everything. Breathe in slowly and deeply into your lungs. Fill your lungs up completely. Let all of that air fill up your lung like a hot air balloon. And then release that just as slowly. I like to close my eyes because it shuts out all distraction. And now we're going to repeat. We're going to breathe in again very deeply into the lungs. You'll start to feel your body relax when you do this. All that tension is just going to fall away because you're focusing in on the breathing, on feeling what's happening inside of you. And release it out gently and slowly. And with this next breath in, it's the same process to breathe in deeply and release slowly. This time, you're going to add in something that makes you smile, something that just feels so warm and fuzzy. It could be another person. It could be a dog, an animal. It could be a sunset or some nature scenery, maybe a tree that you like to hug. But bring in that good feeling that makes you just warm all over, and fill your heart with that type of energy right now. When you release that out, let that go out to the universe, this feeling of love, of warmth, of acceptance. And we're going to take one final breath in, breathing it into your heart, knowing that I am enough. I am worthy. I deserve all good and wonderful things. I am a spark of the divine, and miracles show up for me every day. Consider this time together here as a miracle time, and just allow yourself now to be open to what comes forth in this workshop. You've entered a higher brain state, so just relax and enjoy. And I'm looking forward to all of your participation with Michelle and I. So Michelle?
Yes, so I was a couple of things I was thinking of, and they say at the beginning of the year, it's always good to have your word for the year. So you might want to think about that while I mention a few things, because for me, the word that popped up for me for this year is devotion, which kind of surprised me because that's not usually, every year I do try to come up with a word, but so what do I want to be devoted to? Well, I'm devoted to up leveling my spiritual knowledge, and I know that there's no end to that. And I'm also devoted to resurrecting a passion, what would I call it? Passion project, I'm sorry, that I started many years ago, which was a movie, screenplay, whatever. So I'm really devoted to that. So I want you guys to think about that and what your word might be for the year, and how do you want to feel this year? And so not only is my word devotion, but I want to feel that devotion. And to me, that's devotion slash, passion. So think about that. And if it comes to you, write down that word, or you can write down the question and then do it later. And one phrase that I love, and I think this is so important in our life, is how you do one thing is how you do everything. And that always hits me really hard, because how do I behave in the world? How do I do this? How am I with my friends? How do I do my work? How do I do my family? So the way you do one thing is how you do everything, because things are rarely isolated, right? You rarely find someone whose home is in chaos, but yet, everything else in their world is perfectly organized. So a lot of times I think it's important to take a check and look at, is your car a mess? Because maybe that needs to be cleaned up, because that's an area of your brain somewhere in there. Things need to be, cleaned up. So we also talk about the law of correspondence, and the law of correspondence is real simple. It's as within, so without. So your outer life is a reflection, again, of your inner world. So your thoughts, your beliefs, your emotional patterns, how you feel about yourself, everything shapes your experiences and your circumstances. And also, anything that you draw to yourself, that's all part of what's going in here. So it's not that the world, I think we can all agree, right? It's not like the world is happening to you, but that your inner state is constantly influencing how you experience the world and what's coming towards you. So whatever is constantly running around, and that's what we're going to get into, running around in your mind all the time is what's going to show up in your life. So in all areas. So when you begin to shift your inner environment and your self-talk, things change. I want to talk a little bit about the brain, and I just want to go back a little bit, because my earliest career was working in the medical field with a neurosurgeon. And it was all meant to be. There is no doubt in my mind that all of that brought me here. And so when I worked for him, I got a better understanding of how the brain operated, which absolutely fascinated me. Then we opened up a pain clinic, and then I got to glimpse the emotional power that we had to change our inner experiences, and whether that means to heal ourselves or to eliminate pain. So that was kind of step two. And then, to make a very long story short, I talked to another physician who was using, an oncologist who was using visualization for his young patients. So it was just fascinating to me. But talking about your brain is just, well, here's a little neurobiology. Your brain is an astonishingly organized network of about 86 billion tree-like nerve cells called neurons. And these neurons communicate with one another. This is like, an axon, and through long wires called axons. And at the end of each axon, there's an electrical signal that's converted into a chemical message, and they get passed around through these synapses, they're called. So can you pull up the first PowerPoint?
I'm getting there.
It's okay. So if you could watch our brain in action, it looks like a thunderstorm, like a forest of all these glowing branches in the middle, like a thunderstorm going on. But there's so many neurons firing off at the same time. It would be chaos if they were all firing off at once. And instead, your brain has this way of organizing the routing and the coordinating. So you can think, feel, and make sense of this world. But how your brain makes sense of this world isn't based at all on what you're seeing out there. it's about what's going on in here. Yeah. That was, I like that. You see that? Is that amazing? I mean, that second one here with, that's lit up, that's kind of like what's going on in your brain, and you don't even feel it, do you? And I also wanted to mention something else. You know that old saying, we only use 10% of our brain. I think everybody pretty much knows that's not true. I don't know how these stories or these sayings start. We use every region of our brain, but we don't use it to its fullest ability or capacity. And I don't know if anybody saw that movie, Lucy, but there was a movie with, I can't remember her name, but she had full use and capacity of all areas of her brain, and she was unstoppable. So every brain is different. We have things that are inherited, things that are shaped by the environment we grew up in, whether that's our families, our experiences, and even stories that we create that tell us about who we are. But the great part of this is that the brain is so adaptable. And as we learn new things, practice new habits, and reinterpret old experiences, what happens to our brain? It physically changes. And that ability, I'm sure you guys, I know, pretty sure all you guys have heard the word neuroplasticity. And that's just the way our brain changes. And a fun side note, that when you're concentrating or thinking hard or problem solving, you're actually using energy. And for what it's worth, you're actually burning calories. No kidding. So there's plenty of evidence that the brain works best when it's what? Happy. And who doesn't? And what helps our brain be happy? Positive, meaningful relationships, uplifting, positive experiences, and yes, regular physical exercise. So a brain that is filled with positive thoughts and feelings is more creative, more flexible, and open to new possibilities. And your perception, by the way, whether you know this or not, it's your brain's best guess. So where does perception come in? Well, we like to believe that we see, we hear, and we feel the world exactly as it is, just like a video camera, but that's not really what's happening. Because again, our neurons are constantly chatting with one another, and it's creating this internal world just to make sense of it. And there is a neuroscientist, Anil Self, and he called it, I forgot what he called it. You're going to have to forgive me for 1 minute because I need to find some notes here. Let's see. Let me escape here. Anil Seth, what did he do again? Okay, what he called this was a controlled hallucination. So it's your brain's best guess about what's happening out there. And it's based on what your senses are able to detect, your past experiences and your memories, your beliefs, your expectations, and what else? Your emotional state. So this is really important, guys. Your brain doesn't simply record reality, it constructs that. Everybody get that? Does that make sense to everyone? Okay. So it fills in the gaps, smooths over missing information. Sometimes it gives you the wrong end of what's really happening when old beliefs or fears are running the show. So do you have something to add to that, Terry?
I wanted to share with everybody, you can add your questions in the chat if there is something that you're not understanding. And I'm trying to help with, like I put the word neuroplasticity in there so you all can see how that's spelled.
Oh,
If you want to
cool.
maybe Google it later, if you don't understand that. Yeah, our brains are just magnificent. But what I wanted to add is when we can step outside of ourselves and be the witness, we understand things a lot more fully. So when we're trying to understand that our brain is like doing all of this activity, like you can see on the screen, everything's just really going at a crazy speed. Sometimes it helps to just slow down for a minute. Like I always teach you all, hit the pause button and observe, become the observer, and then things make more sense. So I think I love the science behind everything. I'm a researcher. I always look up everything that I hear about. So I think this is a way that we can acknowledge that there's a lot of science going on in our heads, but what really helps is to become that witness of how our bodies are responding to it.
Right, absolutely. Thank you. Can you go to, I guess, the next PowerPoint slide, Terry? Yeah, so these are the steps that we're going to be going over today. Notice the noise, name that story, name that tune, spot those false beliefs, what's actually true and what's just, some old story from before, some old belief, something that someone told us. Then we want to clear the emotional residue, and that's going to be a really neat exercise that Terry's going to take us through. Then listen to my inner truth, clarify your vision and your purpose, and then, of course, align and act. So what's your next aligned step going to be? Okay, so I think you can go to the next slide, Terry. I'm pretty sure that. Oh, I thought I had a different one. Okay. That's right. So, pencil and paper ready. Make sure that your phones are silenced. Hopefully, you're in a really comfortable position. And what I really, really, really would like is if you took a deep breath in, just hold it for a second or two, and exhale it out through your mouth with a like an audible ah. Sorry about that. And let's do that one more time. Slow breath in through the nose. Hold it and let it out with a ah. And just tell yourself, I am not here to judge. I'm here to notice. So we talk about notice the noise. Well, what is the noise? We're going to identify that. The noise is anything in your life that is mucking up things, or it's repetitive or unresolved, or something like, why can't they? Or what if? Anything that creates an emotional charge. And I'm sure that we all know what those things are, what are those triggers. What keeps looping in your thoughts? What are you afraid of? Is there something you're afraid it will happen? What drains your energy? Is it a person? Is it a place? Is it a thing? And again, what triggers reactions or avoidance? When we're judging, how could we? So we're just going to take one thing right now. We don't want to overload it. And again, we're going to be able to, or you're going to be able to do this over and over again. So without trying to prioritize, and I'm sure most of you already have it in your mind, with first thought, just answer the question. What's been taking up the most mental or emotional space for me lately? That's question one. And don't spend too much time on it. And now, what situation, relationship, or pattern feels confusing, stuck, or unresolved right now? Okay, so I just want to remind all of you, it's best not to spend a whole lot of time on trying to go deep, because you will go deep. You want to go with first thought. Even if it sounds crazy, just journal it, write it out. So now I just want you to notice patterns, not problems, and complete one or more of these sentences. And I don't know if you're going to type them in there, Terry. So it could be all these sentences or just one. I keep finding myself in situations where dot, dot, dot. Lately, I feel most reactive when something I'm avoiding or putting off is. That one was hit pay dirt for me, by the way, when I did this. So just answer just one or more of those sentences. Okay. Okay, so just know that patterns are just informing you. That's all they're doing. They're just giving you information, nothing to be judged, as good or bad. We're just gathering information. So you know that your body, your cells react and respond to everything that you're thinking, right? And your brain, your nervous system controls everything in your body. And many times your body actually knows something before your mind does. So I would like you to close your eyes for a second. And when you've identified the noise, hopefully, right now, and answered one of the other three questions. So now I want you to go back and think about what you wrote, just briefly, and write down where you feel it in your body. For me, I always felt it like right in between my eyes and my nose for some reason, but it could be your chest, your throat, your jaw, your shoulders. And then I want you just to describe the situation. For me, it's like a buzzing, and tight. So it could be tight or heavy, warm. So let's get into the emotional layer of it. And again, you're not trying to explain it or justify it, but just notice what emotions might be present beneath that noise. Maybe it's fear, maybe it's anger, maybe it's shame, maybe it's confusion. Whatever pops up, whatever the first instinctive response to that is. So let's kind of tie it all together. And this is going to be kind of like a signal. So if these noises, these things were trying to get your attention, what might it be saying? Examples of something needs to change. I don't feel seen. I need clarity. If it was trying to get your attention, what might it be saying? So, Terry, is there something you want to add to that, or should we move on, or anybody has something they want to type in the chat box or something they want to say?
I think we're just encouraging all of you right now to be the observer. Remember, I was talking about stepping out of your brain state for a moment and just observe. We're not really working on any of those emotions just yet, but just acknowledging them. Like what Michelle was saying, sometimes we push them down, and so we don't give them the time that's needed to work with them. So just be the observer. Whatever you wrote down, don't try to analyze it, fix it, work through it. Right now, we're just bringing it out to be seen. I like to do a little visualization. If it's a person that you're writing about, envision them right there with you. Put them in a chair so they can sit there and participate. So whatever it is that you wrote about, just envision that it's right there with you, and we're going to work on it during this workshop.
Okay, does anybody have any questions? No? Okay. Let's see.
Yeah, if at any point there's something you need more clarity on, you can hit at the bottom of your Zoom, there's a raise your hand. You can raise your hand. You can type it in the chat, somehow get our attention so that we don't skip over and not make it clear for you.
Terry, can you go to, I think it's spot the false beliefs on the, not that one, maybe next one or the one after that. That's it. That's it. I love that. So that's where we're going to move into right now. It's really important to spot the false beliefs. And Katie Byron, right? Or Byron Katie, which is it? Byron Katie?
I think Katie's the last name.
Yeah. Right. She does great work on, is it true? How do you know? How can you absolutely be sure? And that's kind of what we're going to do now, because we want to question these stories. Going back to the noise that you identified and the feelings that you had, we're just taking this one. So where might it have come from? These feelings, these beliefs, these ideas, a parent, a past partner. So what we want to do is question it, because we want to question what the brain may take as fact. And we want to be curious. We don't want to be judgmental, because false beliefs aren't lies. We believe them because they once helped us survive. But when we question them, we loosen their hold on us. We physiologically, and this is important, we disconnect that old wiring and we are able to activate that neuroplasticity. So it's so interesting how all of this comes together. We're not just talking about emotions, we're talking about the physiology of how our brain operates. So we're looking at this as a whole, not in just separate little pieces. So when we question some of these judgments or these beliefs, or these curiosities, let's say, we can ask ourselves, is this actually always true? Whatever your sentence that came up with about your life and how you perceive it. And can I think of an exception? And you can ask yourself, do you remember when you first heard that? Is there a voice that goes along with it? For me, I heard a particular voice. It's not absolutely necessary, but whose voice? Is it yours? Is it someone else's? Was it a teacher, a friend? What part of that story is based on fear? Or is it story that somebody else, you inherited from someone else? So take one out of this, take a belief that you're ready to question. And just for the heck of it, is there some old belief that you don't want to release yet? So for the old belief that you're ready to question, you can reframe it. This was once true, but it may not be true now. And I wanted to mention, if you look at this slide, what I love, you see the brain fighting with the heart and everything. But the first image, I wonder what people see in the first image. Because there's two ways to look at that first image. Does anybody feel like writing it in the chat, what they see?
Erica says she sees a donkey.
Yeah. Nobody else? No one else?
Donkey first and then a seal.
Oh, that's funny. That's really interesting because that's how I saw it too. I saw a donkey first and then I saw a seal. So there's two ways of looking at this, right? So reframing is so important, and because our subconscious believes everything we tell it. So we want to start feeding it different messages. So, okay. Does everybody feel complete with that right now?
I'd like to just add something that's helped me a lot, because a lot of times I don't know where some of those beliefs started. And I have the thought, well, it's always just that way. That's just the way it is, right? That's the way it's always been. And so a lot of times we're just complacent. We just accept, oh, that's just the way it is. So what I understand is our brain has this amazing filing system. So we have an experience that goes into a file in our brain. So then we might have a similar experience to that. So the brain's going to filter through those files and find something similar to what we're going through. And so the more it does that, then that becomes our belief that that's the way it is, right? That's truth, that's fact, whatever you want to call it. So when Michelle talks about reframing and rewiring, this is what we're trying to get you all to understand, that it doesn't have to just be that way. It just doesn't have to be, oh, that's the way it's always been done, so that's the way we do it. So it's just creating a new avenue of thought, and that goes into a filing system in your brain. So now that's how we can develop new habits, new thought patterns, new ways of doing things. So I hope that helped. I hope I didn't confuse anybody with that, but that's how I've had to kind of accept that, not everything is as we thought it was, or we've been taught that it was. I love to question. I love Don Miguel Ruiz, and I know I refer to him a lot. He wrote the 4 agreements, but to me, the most important one is agreement number 5, which is be skeptical, but open. So question. There's nothing wrong with questioning. And once you start doing that, you might go down a rabbit hole, or you might come back to the same thought that, oh, okay, so that is how it is. But at least you've given yourself that opportunity to see if there's something different than what we've just always accepted as that's just the way it is, or that's just truth.
Yeah. Perfect. Thank you for that, Terry. Yes. It's all about we forget, unfortunately, because when bombarded with information all day long from other people, from the news, if we listen to it, the old thoughts, old beliefs, that we kind of lose partial sense of who we really are. And we're all of us here are on a everybody's on a spiritual journey, everyone. But whether or not you're on a conscious spiritual journey is quite another thing. So I would say that everyone here is on a very conscious spiritual journey and wanting to grow and learn. And yet, there are these bits and pieces of, again, things that we've heard that have somehow entered into the construct of who we are. So the outside influence, unfortunately, can be very strong. And that's one of the main takeaways I'm hoping that everyone gets from this, along with, how to do the process and doing it over and over again. But understanding how we are so influenced, if we allow it, by the outside. And you can always say, that might be true for you, but that's not true for me. And that's okay. That is absolutely okay. Do you want to go to the next slide, Terry? So again, a reminder, you can take these worksheets and do it over and over again for all different areas, because I'm sure there's going to be other things that may come up in your life and you go, oh, I really want to work on that belief. But right now, what we're going to do, or Terry's going to do for us, is clearing the emotional residue. So what you've gone through is noticing the noise, some questions to open it up a little bit more, how you feel about it, where you feel it in your body, what's the emotional reaction, the trigger, or whether it's a person, place, or thing. So we just want to take this one and we want to clear the emotional residue. Everybody good with that? Okay. I can't see everybody's face.
Yeah, I'm going to stop the share. I can turn it back on.
Okay.
I can figure out how to stop the share.
Oh, if anybody knows, you do. Okay. Okay.
I can see everybody.
All righty.
Okay. Well,
so this is, you're doing like some somatic healing, right, Terry?
Somatic healing. Somatic is your body.
Right.
I like that. Who did that? Gracie did the thumbs up.
Thank you, Grace. Grace Isis.
Awesome. How's everybody doing? Let's just take a minute to check in before we do this exercise. Y'all doing okay with this? Enjoying it? Aw, thank you, Andrea. I love that heart.
Thank you, Erica.
All right. Well, as I was saying a few minutes ago, our brain files things away, right? We have an experience that goes into a little folder, and nothing is released from all of that. It's all there. Everything that we've ever done, experienced, held on to, or thought that we cleared is all there in file folders. I had a mentor that told me once, you don't have to go back and erase anything in your life. You don't have to go back and try to change it, try to redo it. We need all of those experiences because they make us who we are. This person that you are right now, sitting here in the Zoom room, that is the culmination of all of the experiences that you have had in your lifetime. All of those beliefs that are up here, everything that's happened as you've lived your life. This is you now, the result of all of that. So some of those experiences might have been, we'll say, less than ideal. I don't like using terms, labeling terms like good, bad. So I say less than what we would want them to be if we had the ideal situations. So as we have some of those experiences, there's going to be some unprocessed emotions. There's going to be some things we sweep under the rug. I don't want to look at that. I don't want to deal with that right now, right? We just kind of put it off. We procrastinate with dealing with our emotions or things that have happened and transpired. So I like this sentence, so I'm just going to read it. Unprocessed emotions are like unfinished sentences in our body. So remember, Michelle, at the beginning, had you answer some of those 3 questions. I keep finding myself in situations where lately I feel most reactive when. Those are the things we don't want to look at, right? We don't want to see all those unfinished sentences because some of them might be triggering for us. They might be things that lead us to a heart hurt or having to open up our heart so we can deal with them and be more real with them. So what we're going to do is a little exercise, and it's called a somatic release. We're going to actually let go of some things from our body, and don't be afraid. It can be kind of frightening when you hear this, that you have to let something go that may be a comfort for you to hold on to, or maybe you feel like, I'm not ready. Right? Have you ever said that? I'm not ready to deal with that. I'm not ready to release this just yet. Because what happens a lot of times is we feel justified in holding on to maybe an anger or shame. You know, we did something and we just can't get past that feeling of, oh, I wish I'd done it different. I wish I could go back and change that. So it might be a little intimidating to deal with something, but I'll be gentle. So if you're willing to be open and to really work with this, then I think you'll find a big benefit in doing so. So we're going to right now just breathe. Just breathe. This is the beginning of everything, is when you bring your awareness to your breath, your conscious awareness. And closing your eyes will shut out all distractions. You don't have to look at anything. You don't focus on anything other than you. So just breathe in. And I want you to just say to yourself, I am. Nothing else. I don't want you to finish that thought. I just want you to say, I am. With each breath that you take in, I am. Your brain's going to want to take you somewhere with that. Just keep going back to the breath. I am. This is going to help you become very present and very conscious of where you are inside of you. That's all that matters right now. You're not projecting into the future, looking back. You're staying very present with that I am. And just be there. Be there with it. So before, Michelle had touched on the fact that we feel emotions inside of us in some part of our body. This is what happens. We think that they're hidden. We think that if I'm not dealing with them, maybe they'll go away, or maybe they'll just wait for me somewhere. Well, they're waiting, but they're going to show up. So as you are just focused on that breath, I want you to bring your awareness to, there was probably something that brought you here, something you knew that you wanted to deal with. A couple of you had mentioned that earlier when we were sharing. I don't want you to relive any experience. I just want you to be aware right now. That's all we're doing, bringing awareness to your consciousness. And I want you to ask yourself, where do I feel this in my body? When I'm bringing it to mind that this is what I'm here for, this is what I want to release, where do you feel it? It always shows up. And I've heard even scientific people say that when we're dealing with a physical issue, it starts as an emotion. So you'll know where it's at in your body. You'll feel it. So I want you to just keep doing I am and feel where that emotion is in your body. You're not going to do anything with it. You're just going to acknowledge it, see that it's there. Say hello to it. I like to talk to my emotions. So when I find it, sometimes it's located in my chest area, sometimes the stomach, sometimes a joint. When you find that sensation, say hello, just acknowledge it. And the next thing I want you to do is to stay with that sensation. What's it feeling like right now? Is it feeling tight? Is there a pain energy maybe associated with it? Does it feel numb? So whatever is happening, just be with the sensation that's going on in your body. Not thinking about fixing it, not thinking about running from it, just being with it and acknowledging. Now I want you, if you can, to place your hand where that sensation is. Remember what I said when we first started, wherever you're touching on your body, that's where your focus goes. So we want to see where that sensation is in the body. And by touching it, it brings your whole focus, your whole energy there. Say hello to it again. Say, hi, I'm here for you. Say to yourself, I'm allowed to notice this. It's okay to find this sensation in my body. I don't have to run from it. I don't have to change it. I'm just seeing it and acknowledging it. Whatever your body wants to do as you are acknowledging and finding those sensations, let it do it. If you need to move, shift, change your position, whatever's needed, allow it. Allow your body to right now talk to you, and it will. It will share with you what it needs. It might be emotional to do this, to find that there's parts of your body that have been neglected, or maybe you knew that it's been trying to get your attention, and now you're giving it that attention. So it might be emotional to know that this is a part that's been neglected. And when we neglect parts of our body that are asking for attention, then the body speaks up. Sometimes in big volumes, sometimes it screams at us to have that attention. So as you are focusing on whatever that sensation is, wherever it's at in your body, I want you to talk to it. And I want you to say, I love you. I'm sorry that I haven't been paying the attention as I should when you're trying to talk to me. But I'm here now. In this moment, I'm listening to you. You don't have to go back and relive whatever brought that sensation to you. Deal with it where it's at in this moment inside of you. And I want you to envision that you can touch that spot inside of you that's creating the sensation. that you can reach your hand inside of you and you can find it inside of your body. And as you do so, give it a hug. Just like you acknowledged it by saying hello, now you're going to wrap it in arms of love and compassion. One thing that I like to do, it might be a little stretch for some of you, I like to envision that I can reach my hand inside my body and pull that energy out, whatever that sensation is. Maybe it's pain, maybe it's anger, regret, whatever it is. See if you can envision pulling it out of your body and holding it and giving it that warmth, that love that it so desires. I hold it in my hands and I just give it a big hug as I'm holding it there outside of me. And I keep talking to it. I keep saying, you matter. You're important. I need to hear what you have to say to me. I need to know how I can help you, body. How can I help you to be stronger? How can I help you to release some of that tension, that tightness, that pain that I'm feeling in my body? So as you love on it more and more, you show it compassion, you show it that you're willing to learn from your body. It's going to respond. Love responds to love, and we are made of pure love. That's how we're created. So instead of wishing that pain away, hoping it'll go away, trying to figure out something to numb the pain or fix the pain, you're simply going to love that. You're going to love that part of you that's trying to get your attention. So show it compassion, show it love, and let's just take a moment to be with it. If you were able to visualize pulling it out of your body, hold it in your hand, just hold it there and go back to I am. You don't have to do anything else. Just feel the warmth that you're sending to it. I am. Allow this integration of that part of your body that's been missing you, been missing the attention that it needs. And in doing this, showing it that you're willing, you're going to feel a shift. So let's just be very present with it. I'm just going to be still and allow this time for you to acknowledge, to love, to care for your body. Forget to breathe. Breathe in love and breathe out love. And now pay attention to that place where this all began, where you did that scan and you felt something happening. Do that scan again. And that part of your body where it was residing, what's happening? Is there a shift? Did something change? Pay attention, be the observer. See if there's any movement at all of that sensation. I won't call it pain. It's just a sensation. It's just something trying to get your attention. And see if it moved at all. Maybe it moved all the way out. Maybe you got a little scared and you didn't go all the way with trying to remove it outside of your body so you can hold it and love on it. But take your time with it. And this is something you can do over and over and over again until you feel the change, you feel the shift. Let's take another breath in. And release. What's your body saying to you now? Is there a message it's giving you? I've done this before where I actually hear my body say thank you. And the more we release, the more gratitude you're going to feel. So pay attention to if you're able to move that part of you. I saw some of you as you were placing your hand where it was affecting you. I saw a shoulder, I think, from someone, the chest area. For me, it's always the stomach. That's where mine gets stuck. So see if there's any change, any shift. And I'd love for you to share and just see if you can find any difference at all in how you're feeling. You may not even notice it right away. You might be moving a part of your body later on and say, oh, I can move again. I can move that shoulder. I can move my leg. So it might not happen immediately. For some, it does. Your stomach started making noises. That's me too, Erica. Yeah, when I do release, and here's the other important thing. I do an energy healing method called quantum touch. And in quantum touch, we learn that when the pain starts moving or the energy starts moving, that's working with you, it looks for an escape route. So sometimes there may be a pain sensation or an issue going on with an elbow or a hand, your fingers might get tight. And instead of just releasing, it moves. So you might notice it in a different part of your body. You might all of a sudden say, oh, well, my hand feels better, but boy, my shoulder hurts. So this is called chasing the pain. And the more you breathe into it and watch what's taking place, then you can chase that pain until it finds that escape route and then leaves your body. So sometimes it takes it a minute to find that place where it can feel safe to release from you. Sometimes it happens instantaneously. I've had it both ways. I've been doing this for years. And so when I'm working with an energy in my body, I always pay attention. Is it gone now, or has it just shifted to a different part where now I can breathe into that part of my body and let it release? So anybody else, anyone notice anything at all that you want to share?
Yeah, for me, it went from here, talk about travel, it went from here to here. And this started getting really hot, like it was looking for an escape route.
Yeah, it's very interesting how that happens.
Erica said she started to burp.
Nothing to be embarrassed about, because that's releasing energy. Anytime you burp, yawn, you feel like you have to stretch, you release with tears, whatever that is, it's your energy wanting that escape route, wanting to come out. So I love that happened for you, Erica.
Yeah.
I also had it with the solar plexus. That's usually where mine always sits. And it went completely away, completely calmed down. Now, another area, though, that I noticed that always I have shoulder and neck pain. So I switched from solar plexus to shoulder and neck, but I think that's going to take more. It felt comfortable touching it, but I think because it's so there that it needs a few more sessions to do that. But the solar plexus was impressive. I felt that, yeah.
Oh, Suzanne, I'm so glad to hear that. There's a saying, I know Abraham says it, I don't know where it originally came from. It's just as easy to manifest a penny as it is a castle. So when we assign a level of difficulty to something, that's us assigning it. It doesn't mean that something is more difficult than another. It's just our concept. Remember, that's what we're trying to rewire here. Our concept that, oh, it'll be just as easy to release this as it was to release this. So just put that in your mind, that maybe it won't be so difficult to get rid of this other pain that maybe has been there for a lifetime or the majority of our adulthood or whatever, however long we've been holding on to these things. It can be released. I call it a miracle when it happens instantly, like your solar plexus pain that went. But everything's a miracle, I think. Anytime we focus on what's working for us instead of against us, it's the spirit helping us to understand things more fully and to being able to enjoy this life more fully.
Yeah, that was really beautiful, Terry. It was really a good experience for me. It really helped a lot. So thank you.
I'm just reading some of the comments. Andrea, I love yours, that it released and disappeared to nothing. That's our goal, right? To have that shift where everything is working perfectly, as we like to say. Yeah.
So I think now that you did that beautiful meditation, we can take a little step back. You've heard, well, maybe some of you haven't ever heard the show Name That Tune. That goes back years ago, right? So now we're going to name that story. And that's making the unconscious conscious, because right now, what the steps that we've done, and Terry with that beautiful meditation, it's opened us up a little bit more to look at some of the stories that we might have, because honestly, we all have a story. All of us do. And it just helps us to make sense of our experiences. Especially, those experiences that may not feel that good or threatening. We have to make sense of it. So, but any experience that we have, and this goes back to A Course in Miracles, anything that we experience, it's based on the name that we give it or how we see it. That's all. The experience is the experience by itself, but the way we experience it makes it very personal, but it may not be true. An example you've probably heard a million times is, it starts to pouring rain, and we go, oh my God, I can't believe it's pouring rain like this, and it's terrible, and I can't go out, or I can't do this or that, or the farmer is going, oh my God, thank you. I needed that rain for my plants, my crops and everything. So every experience, pretty much, the only meaning it has is the meaning that we give it. But so we have these hidden narratives, and we want to bring them out, not to judge them, not to fix them, but just to see them a little more clearly. So let's do that. So can we have a lot of different stories? Yes, of course we have. We don't have just one. We have so many that are running in the background. And we know that how do multiple stories form? It's not just one big global narrative that we have, but different ones. We have a story about love. We have a story about authority, about money, safety. I know for me, I hear, or I've heard many times in the background, some of the stories that I've made up about my life is one of the things I used to hear my dad say is, it's, how did he phrase it? It's hard to make money or something like that, like, oh, you have to work hard to make money. So that I carried with me for so long. And the realization of that came when I heard my husband remark about that. I've never seen somebody work so damn hard, Michelle, for, what you do. And in some areas, I'm and so in love with what I do. I'm glad to work hard, but that's not the point. The point is, in my head, the narrative was, you got to work really hard. In other words, it's got to be painful. So that's what we want to do. And I have different stories about love and about life? Absolutely. So we're right now, which is when we want to deal with just one. And again, the reminder is, you're all going to get printouts of this. You can do it on all your stories. But understand that the stories that we create are, in their own way, it's really meant, it's our protection. It's meant to protect us. We think it's going to protect us. So I'm allowed to look at these stories with curiosity, not criticism at all. There's not right or wrong answers, only honest ones. And so let's start with, what's your headline? Because we want to distill our story. We want to get it to its core. So if you want to go back to the situation or experience you identified in step one, or if there's another headline in your life, think bold and simple, no explaining. What would be your story? What would be the headline of your story? The headline of my story is, and again, whatever comes to mind. I know one of my stories for sure was, I have to do it all myself. It was one of my stories. So, oh, if it's to be, I like that one though, Terry. That's a good one. For some people, it's people always leave me. I'm always abandoned. That's one I hear a lot. But what we really, really want to do, this is so important. We want to separate what was that voice behind that story? They don't come from nowhere. Our stories are learned, and we can create any story we want for our life. And that's hopefully what we're doing here. So your story headline, if it did have a voice to it, whose does it sound like? Trust me, it sounds like someone or something. So write down, if this headline, if this story had a voice, whose does it sound like? So whatever your answer was, notice if there's any absolute words in there, like always, never, everyone, no one, can't, have to. Oh, I like that, Terry. Whose voice is narrating what was the rest of it? Whose voice is narrating your
voice is narrating your story's headline. Like you said, Michelle, there's a lot of people that influence us, peers, caregivers, teachers. So who's speaking? when you're thinking about your story's headline?
Now, I do have to add, I do have to flip this a little bit. I did have a good story headline when I was in 8th grade. I finally, and I went to a parochial school, but I finally had a teacher who acknowledged my artistic ability. It was the first time. And that stuck with me. And that was one of the good voices that I heard, because we have good voices too. But right now we're excavating, right? We're doing an archaeological emotional dig to get to some of the things. So whatever it was that you wrote, your headline, how did it feel to write that out? What kind of feelings came up for you? And if you want to write an answer in the chat, that would be great. Oh, wow. Yeah. That's interesting, Erica. I get that too. Mm-hmm. So I would suggest, I had made some notes here that if you're doing this again on your own, which I really encourage you to do that, go back and recall some of the words that you heard or the experiences that gave rise to that idea, belief, or conclusion. So what we want to go and we want to ask ourselves now is, okay, so when we have these stories, they show up in a lot of different areas. So whatever that headline is for you, how does that show up, or where does it show up in your life? Is it a money story? Is it a relationship story? Is it a love story? Is it a health story? That's another thing. We haven't really touched much upon that, but yeah, there are health stories that we get. If you grew up in an environment where you had one or both parents that were always ill, that might have had an effect on you. I'm sure it did, but in what way? Does it show up in your life as well? So where is that pattern showing up? And again, we have a lot of different stories. Okay, Andrea felt nervous. Yeah. That's your body, right? Reacting to it, sending you signals. Our body's so good at that. And like we talked, right? Your body feels it. Well, first of all, it's in our aura. Then it hits our body, and then it hits our brain, or in some such order like that, but definitely in the outer field first. So here's a good question for this. But I do want you to answer it with first thought. And again, don't judge it. You can go back over this and look at it, but understanding the story. So what might this story be trying to protect you from? Because all of this is really reactions wanting to protect us. Because what is the fear? If you've read the Course in Miracles, or about the Course in Miracles, the Course in Miracles talks a lot about the ego, and what the ego is always trying to do is prevent us from dying. in one way or the other. It's just always the ego is trying to protect us. The ego looks at things as either better than or worse than. So I'm either better than you or I'm worse than you, but the ego does not go around thinking, oh, I'm just fine. That's spirit. That's your spirit or your soul talking. When you feel at peace, when you feel, that's your spirit. When you feel peaceful, when you feel like everything is okay, that's not your ego. So what might be the story that your story, what is it trying to protect you from? Maybe it's, I don't want to be judged. Maybe it's protecting you from what you think is rejection of some type or disappointment. If I don't expect too much, I won't be disappointed. Or again, being judged, being criticized or misunderstood, I'll be quiet. So we all have a story that's protecting us from something. But also, how might that story be making you feel? You know, there's a number of things that I wrote down that are possible, because one of them definitely resonated for me. I'm exhausted from always trying to hold it together. That's what my story would make me feel. So maybe your story keeps you safe, but stuck. I see, Andrea, shows up in multiple ways: thoughts, belief, actions, or lack of action. Oh, I get that one. Erica, protecting me from rejection. Absolutely. Okay, so the next question: by continuing to live from that story, what does it cost you? Because even though there's an element of it, the story is trying to protect you, it's also costing you to live fully. Oh, I'm glad that helps. So continuing to live from that story, what does it cost you? For me, it was opportunities for connection. For others, it could be, also, I have another one too, that emotional intimacy. And what does it cost you? Maybe it costs you peace of mind. Maybe you don't trust yourself. Maybe you don't trust others. Maybe it keeps you from really experiencing joy in your life. Don't you love that word, joy? I love that word, joy. When I hear that word, for me, and I think different words, people experience different words in different ways. When I hear that word, joy, it automatically lifts me. And that is another part of my past stories that would keep me from joy. Yeah, unfulfilled aspirations with opportunities. Yeah. It's in my body. I think it's in, let me see, Charlie. It's in the rewiring of my brain, right? And we can rewire, absolutely rewire our brains. And that's what we want to do, because this is a multi-level process, physiologically, emotionally, spiritually.
Well, I love Andrea's comment she said, when you give examples, it's very helpful. It makes it easier to expand my thoughts. Can I give an example with mine?
Yeah.
So my story, if it's to be, it's up to me. And I used to say this out of frustration because I felt unsupported. I felt unacknowledged and looked down on. And this came from a parent who told me I would never amount to anything. So it was kind of a rebellious type of story headline. Well, I guess if it's to be, if anything's going to come of me in this lifetime, then it's up to me. So it was rebelling against what I had been told, that I was worthless, that, I didn't have any future, that there was nothing that I could do. And so then eventually that shifted, and it's still, if it's to be, it's up to me, because I know that I have to take action, but now it's a whole different flavor. Now it's like, yeah, I have to take that step, but not because I'm rebelling against anything, but because I know that I am worthy. I know I can do things. So our story headline can start out as something in reaction to something else, or what we've always been told, or what we've come to believe. But then the more we do these self-awareness things like this workshop, it can shift, and it can still be your story, but with a different flavor, with a different energy to it. So I hope that helps to clarify some of what we're talking about with this.
I love that, Terry, because think of it, I mean, everything in life is dual, right? And things that help can hurt. But I love that because you can say if it's meant to be, it's up to me. And you can say that with anger. Well, if it's going to be, it's up to me. Or you could say it with joy, which you flipped it. If it's to be, it's up to me. Yay, I have the power.
Right. Which comes from that self-awareness, finding your sense of worthiness that, you deserve. We all deserve to have the best life possible.
Yes. And Erica says, keeps me from living my purpose and putting myself out there, which keeps me unfulfilled. I hear my dad's voice telling me I should be on the path that he wanted for himself. Great insight.
Yes. Living somebody else's dream.
Wow. Right.
I have one too. I mean, I put it together. I think my story would be I can't make it on my own. But I felt it was my inner child telling me that. And that felt the feeling was familiar and ingrained in me. And what it does, it paralyzes me. And if I don't change anything, I never find myself, fulfillment, live my life. I always will be this fear I can't make it and be stuck and paralyzed. That's how I feel right now.
Wow. Thank you. Suzanne, you said it was your inner child telling you that?
Yeah, I think so. I don't really have many outside voices. I feel that I just took on. I feel it's more my inner child telling me that is so scared, that always stays invisible and hidden, that I think I can't. I'm in a situation right now where I would have to live on my own, and I'm really scared of it. And it's nobody on the outside. In the opposite, I get encouragement, but it's my inner child that tells me, oh my gosh, you can't, it's too scary. So
how old is that inner child, if you had to guess?
I don't know. I would say young, below 10, maybe. Yeah, young.
Okay, so you don't have to answer this now, or you could think about it, but that young child, do you remember an incident that happened around that time of that inner child's life that might have, had a
Yeah, I think that inner child was always lonely. Like I was put in the world and sort of raised myself. My parents were always busy and stressed, and I made myself invisible. I literally grew up invisible and I relied on myself a lot. Thankfully, I had a best friend who was with me. She says exactly the same. We weren't parented. We were on our own, and it was tough and it was hard and it was scary. And I think that's what I still carry with me throughout my life, just this invisibility and no support. Nobody who says you're good, you're worthy. I never got that. I don't even think my parents ever told me they loved me, honestly.
That's challenging. But you said you've done inner child work, or you're doing inner child work,
I
or
did a little bit, but I struggle with inner child work. I do. That's my struggle. I mean, I'm aware of it, but I don't think I do enough work.
well, you are enough. And I think you can flip the switch on that and say you're doing the best you can right now, right? With the awareness that you have.
Yeah.
And hopefully this is helping you to open up a little bit more, because it sounds like you got to have a little bit of a connection, more of a connection with your inner child.
Yeah.
Talk to her, but anyway, that's another topic, right?
The next workshop.
Yeah, this is the next workshop. All right.
I'd like to just say I have come across so many people on their spiritual path that were the same situation. And Suzanne,
Yes.
right there with you. I never heard I love you. I never got hugs. I never got encouragement. And so that's how my storyline was born, that, if it's to be, it's up to me. And so I see a lot of this, and I'm just wondering if anybody else is resonating with that in the room, in the Zoom room,
Yeah.
that, we kind of just came up on our own. We had to take care of ourselves because we didn't have that parental guidance or parental support and encouragement. So you're not alone in this.
Certainly not.
And I think
Yes.
to bring it into the future, my dad passed, but I have a good relationship with my mom. But when I tell my mom something, my mom always dismisses it. And that's even worse. You're not heard. Not only is your inner child invisible, but now as an adult, she is like, oh, other people have it worse, like when I try to tell her that I feel bad about something. So it's just continuing. Like, I don't know. It's just weird.
No, I get that. It's not acknowledging your feelings. And that feels like either, I don't know what the word would be for you, but that's like betrayal or abandonment, or not hearing you, not being heard. And the interesting thing is, for I think a lot of us who are on a conscious spiritual path, is these things, even though they were felt and were certainly hurtful or harmful, but they stirred in us something that wanted to understand that more and to grow and not feel that anymore. So that's the good part of it. I have to say that I wouldn't be where I am today if it wasn't for the challenges I went through. It's not like I would invite it. And it's not like if I got a menu and they said, okay, what challenges would you like? I wouldn't want to pick any of them. I really wouldn't, but that's how we grow. And Grace Isis, I like this headline: move with courage. You can. Turned around, you can move with courage. You can move with courage. My father's voice of encouragement, always letting us know we are both his girls and boys. You can do what boys can. Wow.
Huge. Yeah.
What a positive impact, right?
Mm-hmm.
He was a mystic, and he always traveled with fairness. And all my siblings tell me, you're just like him, you're just like him. Because even when we had the staff who worked for us and something happened in the compound, he'd always say, all right, I'd like to hear your side first. and he'd give them that chance to talk. So I've always felt that and he was very person who stuck by the rules. And sometimes my mom would be like, you need to get out there and do stuff. So I feel I have a lot of his cadence in life. And sometimes I say, Grace, I have all these ideas, you can do it. So I have to remember his voice. He was a mystic and he was fair. And so sometimes I feel I lean too much on that, and it's hard for me to gather my courage and move. Like he said, you can do that. We're 5 girls. He said, you're as much my boys as you are my girls.
Wow.
You want to ride a bike? Here you go, ride a bike. You want to be an architect? Here you go and do it. So and it's hard because he was a very positive role model. My mom was too, but they were both disciplinarians. But sometimes I find my cadence. I have to go out there and just throw it out there. Throw like the birds. Throw the feed to the birds. They'll come and pick it up and eat. So thank you.
Beautiful, Gracie.
Yes.
And Erica, that's a great insight. Sometimes, we're dealing with parents or caregivers that have issues themselves. And so they can't talk to us about it. They can't acknowledge that, maybe I could have done a better job at encouraging. But I always like to say they did the best they could with what they had. And when we look at it that way, like you're saying, Erica, they're human. They're human. So they're dealing with their story and their headlines. And we can offer compassion with that.
Yeah, it's so true. And it's many times it's really challenging for us to wrap our head around that. But I was hurt by that. But when I look at my parents and see the challenges that they grow up with, it makes perfect sense why they were the way they were. It was a result, but no one, or let's put it this way, it's not true, no one, but very few people had that awareness. There were things you just did or you didn't do, and that was it. Yeah, Suzanne, yeah, you hold no resent. That's beautiful, right? Because you understand. You understand. So, okay, we have to move on with this. I forgot where I was. Okay.
We're talking about our stories and how that affects us and
Oh,
our
right. Okay,
headlines.
thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, so if you no longer, and I think a lot of you probably have gotten there, if you didn't need that protection anymore, whatever that belief was protecting you from, whatever it was keeping you safe from, if you didn't need that protection, who might you be? Or you can write it like this: if I no longer needed this protection, I might allow myself to what? And this isn't that you have to take any action yet. This is just awareness. So it's not putting pressure on you that, okay, if I no longer needed this protection, I might allow myself to what? That's a really important step. So were you still writing? Yes. Okay. It's amazing when you're compassionate with yourself, when you honor yourself, as a spiritual being having this human experience, how things can shift and soften. And we get rid of, shame is a big one. A lot of people live with shame. So take a deep breath and remind yourself now. You can say it silently. I didn't create this story to hurt myself. I created it to survive. I'm allowed to question it. Just acknowledging it is important. You're not your story. You're just the person who's been carrying it. That's all. So, what do we want to do now? We want to talk to and find out what our inner truth really is. So in this particular case, what actually feels true for you now? Now, understand that your truth is calm and peaceful and spacious. It's happy. So we're literally going to give your brain new data to build on. So this is more of a heart-centered kind of question. Not kind of, it is. So you can just put your hand on your heart and ask yourself, what feels more true than my old story? What does my wiser self know? And you can add a deeper truth. I'm ready to live by is.
Would you repeat that?
A deeper truth I'm ready to live by is.
Oh, okay.
I love that thought, Michelle, because it's keeping you in the present moment, not keep floating back to what was, but what is.
So since your brain likes to be directed, if I fully honored my truth, this truth, what would I want to create? What would I want to change? What would I want to move towards? Your brain's listening. And how would you show up differently? So try this. Picture yourself 6 months from now, living this new truth, whatever that is. If I was living from my truth, who would I be? How would I show up differently? What would be different? What's different? So picture yourself 6 months from now. Would you be braver, more self-confident? Would you be an artist? I mean, there's all different things. What would you be 6 months from now if you were living by your truth? And it doesn't have to be grand. It can be simple. I'm living with more peace or joy or integrity, or it could be grand.
Can I say something?
Yes.
My first reaction is, how would I be? And it's so odd. I thought, I'll be angry.
Interesting. Where did that come from?
Because my stories my title is, it's just so aggravating. So I have this inside, but I don't express it. Like I've been talking to Terry and I rah, 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 but I don't ever get rid of it. It keeps looping and looping and looping. And I was taught not to say things and to be nice. And I never joined in. I was too shy at the time. I'm still shy, but people don't know it. But it's like I have a narcissist in the family, and she's just so aggravating. You know, she keeps repeating the process, and I know it's not me, but it's still aggravating. And my father would say, "Oh, they're all alike, or they're this, or they're that," and I hear her saying the same things, and that's aggravating because I could never fix my father, and I can't fix her. But another big thing in mine is aggravating is that I keep up with the bills, but not filing and the paperwork, and it's procrastination. And I'm aggravated at myself, but I don't act on anything. I'm comfortable with being aggravated, and I have fibromyalgia, and this hurts and that hurts, and I think it's like looping and looping and looping. So it's not so much that I'd be angry. I would be able to say what I want, because like my mom was passive aggressive and my grandmother, and we were never taught just to say how we feel. So I covered that up by being aggravated at myself for not speaking up, and that also helps cause the situations. But the situations are comfortable because I never learned how to speak up. So even though they're aggravating, I stay with the situation because it's safe, it's more comfortable. So,
Right.
but that's a big realization for me. Maybe other people can see it, but it's just, I was never taught to be honest and to say what I think and to speak up and finish a situation right then.
So yeah, that anger was doing something. You were getting something from that anger. That anger was protecting you from something.
Yeah.
But when you first said that, though, when 6 months from now, you said angry, but I think what you mean, I don't want to put words in your mouth,
No,
but I
no.
think what you mean is able to express yourself.
Right. and then I won't hold on to the loop or the anger. Thank you, Andrea. But it's for me, it's a big realization of it's keeping me in the fibromyalgia and the pain and the aggravation. And it's like, it's a barrier, and I'm safe because I don't let anything new in, and I don't explore new things for me or my body.
And they're all distractions, by the way.
Yes.
They distract us, especially bodily pain distracts us from what's going on.
Right. It's kind of numbing.
Yeah.
Your brain.
And it also is alerting us that something's wrong as well.
Yes, exactly.
But it's a distraction.
So I figure I can't change the narcissist, but I can change the other things, as far as me being open and me doing the paperwork and the things that I procrastinate on. So that doesn't have to be aggravating, and I don't have to stay aggravated at my mom or my dad. I can they did the best they could. That's how she learned. My mother learned the same thing, and I'm repeating a lot of what she did. And she was saying, I don't feel good today, and this is wrong, and that's wrong. And that's what my narcissistic sister is still doing. And I've tried to get out of it, but I'm still, still kind of a safe, it's kind of sick in a way. Not sick. It's like, I'm bemoaning them for doing it, but I'm also doing it myself,
It's learned behavior, and it's coping mechanisms for sure.
Right.
It just keeps us, as you said, in this loop, because it's familiar. It's not even that it's good. It's just familiar. The devil, that old saying, the devil is better than the devil you don't know.
Yeah.
And I think that for most people, because it's really, the self-inquiry is probably one of the most challenging things we would ever do, right, Terry? Mm-hmm. Getting to know ourselves, and it's so enlightening and so life-changing. And when you realize that people don't want to be in pain, so when they're in pain, they want to get rid of it. So one of the ways to get rid of it is project it onto other people, whether that's their narcissism or their anger or their defensiveness or whatever it is. People don't want, or their bullying. It's all because we're in pain, or they are in pain. And we just project it onto other people.
I'm sure everyone's heard that those people that are what I call the sandpaper people that rub us the wrong way. Yeah. They are a mirror to help us to understand ourselves more better. That's terrible grammar. To understand ourselves better. But they're showing us something that we need to look at. So what I always do now, I didn't do it in the past, but what I do now is just send love to that person and gratitude and say, thank you. So to your sister, thank you for showing me that mirror of what needs to be changed inside of me, not what I need to change inside of you. But what is it in me? Is it procrastination? Is it judgment? Is it criticism? Whatever is showing up in somebody that's going to bring it right in your face to show it to you. It doesn't feel so good. We don't like it at all.
Yeah.
We need all of our challenges. We need all of those things we go through to help us grow. So you're getting a lot of growth, Linda.
Well, thank you. Now it's, how do I change? So I like this workshop, by the way, because it's, I've got the awareness, and now it's like, well, what am I going to do with it?
Well, we're going to move on and see what we can do with it for sure.
Thank you for your time.
No, thank you. And I love Andrea or Suzanne said, it will be grand, LOL. No, it will be grand, Suzanne. It will be. It will be. It is. Speak into it.
If you want to hear the grandeur of it, it is a lot. In my future I will be moved out, have my own place. I will be divorced. I will have a job that I like. I will be at peace, and I will have friendships and a social life. So that is grand.
Hey.
You keep doing the I am. Just tell yourself I am. Nothing else, just that. And that's going to cause a shift inside of you.
It is. And I will make another suggestion. You guys can create these. I mean, I don't know, maybe Terry and I can do something like this, or you guys can get together. It's great to have an intention group. You can't have a lot of people on it, and the only reason is because you want to intend, take an hour each week with a small group of people, and you write out in the chat your intention, and everybody in that group will take, it could be as little as 3 minutes, or it could be as much as 10 minutes or something in between, where you all quiet down and you intend for that person what it is they want. Does that make sense at all? So if there were 6 people and you were intending 5 minutes each, that would be like 35 minutes. Like if mine was, I picture, or I'm so happy and grateful that my screenplay has now become a movie or whatever. So everybody would imagine that or intend that for me. And then whatever yours is, then we would do that quietly, silently. Does that make sense?
Absolutely.
Yeah, I think it's something really helpful to do, especially when you have other people intending for you. We know where there's more than one or more are gathered. So I'm losing my space again where I was at.
Can I add one thing real quick?
Yeah.
I think manifesting is knowing what you want.
Yes.
I mean, how can I manifest speaking out if I didn't know that's what I needed?
Absolutely. Thank you for pointing that out. That's true. You have to know what it is that you want.
Yeah.
And of course, look, that everything can be a spin-off to so much more. Mm-hmm. Why do you want it? What's the reason?
Yeah.
And I've always liked to create something. And this story that came into my head 15 or 20 years ago, and I think it would be funny and inspirational at the same time, all along the lines of spirituality, but it's like a dramedy or something like that. So knowing your why behind it is really helpful. What's your why? What would it do? What would be the feeling you have from it? And what would be your perfect outcome, and why would you want that? So, we're getting to your inner truth. I think that's where we're at, right?
Yeah.
Totally lost my place. So your inner truth, what would you be like in 6 months? So what might your inner truth sound like? I don't need to earn my worth anymore. I'm not broken. Love doesn't have to feel hard. Or this fear is old. It doesn't belong here any longer. I'm allowed to change. So again, I just want to remind you that, your inner truth doesn't mean that you have to act on it right now. It simply is asking to be acknowledged. That's all at this moment.
I want to add, Michelle, saying these things, it might seem strange because we get in our comfort zone of holding on to anger and resentment, and somebody hurt me, so I deserve to feel this way, right? But when you start saying some of these words, like, I need more space than I've been allowing, you're honoring you. When you say, I care, I'm not broken, I am worthy. Sometimes it takes a minute for your brain to catch up to that, because the file is filled with words of you're not anything, you're not going to amount to anything. You can't do that. So all of those negativities are in a file folder. So to counteract them, we need to keep saying the positives. And like Michelle was saying, those intentions. And if you can have others supporting you with your intention of, I am enough, I can do this. 6 months from now, my life is going to look so different than it does right now. Then that counterbalances all of those negatives that were there up to this point. So that's the whole point of reframing and rewiring.
And I love, Erica said, I love that idea. We'll amplify our intentions, just like the heart math experiment, right? And Susanna's, my inner truth will be, I am. Yes.
Yes.
Yes, I am. That's so powerful, isn't it? I am.
It is so powerful. And I did this for hours as I was traveling recently. I have Neville Goddard on Audible, and this is something that he teaches. Just don't focus on anything else after those words, just the words, I am. And it creates a shift inside of you.
I love that, Terry. I really do. Those 2 words without anything after it, just I am.
Mm-hmm.
It is powerful. Oh, you're reading Eckhart Tolle. Yeah, he's wonderful. You don't see him much anymore, but he's really great. So now, how does our truth become real? It becomes real through action, right? So our truth, I mean, it's wonderful to understand it, and that's what we've been doing, understanding it, being aware of it. But we really have to live it. So, because without action, it's a great idea, wonderful idea, but action actually turns it into an experience. So, okay, an example would be knowing you're worthy of love. That's wonderful, right? But acting like you're worthy of love. And that means what? Setting boundaries, choosing, your relationships. Maybe there's some relationships you want to foster and there's some you want to let go of. So until we act on what we know that what's true, it doesn't really fully land into our body or our nervous system until we actually take action. And action grounds truth in reality. So you shift yourself from just being a passive observer of it, or saying, oh, this is so wonderful to be this way. But as you take the action steps, and they could just be baby steps, it builds new neural pathways. And that is essential. And that's why affirmations are so important. Everything works together. Reading uplifting articles, or watching uplifting presentations, or starting your day. For me, okay, Terry, doing Cup of Joy every morning. That's just so beautiful. That's the way you want to start the day. It starts the day in the right direction. doing that, doing any type of meditation, you know, all of these things help to reinforce, to redirect the neural pathways, to create new neural pathways. And I promise you, your life will change if you're consistent about it. And if you fall off, that's all right. You don't beat yourself up. You know, it's not like I have to meditate 365 days. And if I miss one day, oh my God, you know, it's terrible. Or we're way too hard on ourselves. So we know that action builds new neural pathways, and also, okay, action reveals resistance, because a lot of times when you start taking steps into these right directions, you quickly see what happens, where that resistance comes up, or that fear, or whatever it is. And what you want to do is be kind to yourself and say, this is in the past. This reaction is in the past. That is no longer true for me. And it's not a failure. It's just getting data. And when we get data, we know how to react from that data or act on it. So, okay, what if your story was, I always have to do everything? That was mine. To a new truth, I'm supported, and it's safe to ask for help, because I would feel alone, but I never felt comfortable asking for help. So that was my old story, not being able to ask for help as well. So choose one small action step that can reflect your new truth. One small one. Because every time you take even a tiny step, your brain, it strengthens those new neural pathways. And that's absolutely how these new beliefs, these new ideas, instead of just being an idea, becomes actual living reality. So think about that right now. What's one small step that you can take in the next, okay, can I give you a deadline? 24 to 72 hours. And I'll give you examples. So if your truth is, I deserve to be seen and heard. So what could be an aligned action? You speak up during, I don't know, a meeting or a conversation, even if you feel like you're shaking.
I think it's important to put the time on it. Give yourself a time limit, because someday is not a day on the calendar.
Yeah.
So if you know, okay, within 3 days, I'm going to speak up. Within 3 days, I'm going to start to declutter, whatever it is, that's your action step. Then you know that, okay, that clock's a ticking, right? So that you're more likely to take that action step if you know that you have a time limit.
Right. And if you're somebody that holds on to a lot of things, whether that's physical or emotional, you can say, if your truth is it's time to let go, what is one thing that you could do in that direction to let go, whether it's donating an item or giving away something. Or if your truth is my needs matter, what would that look like? And aligned action would be, your needs matter. Do something nice for yourself. Whatever that might be. It might be doing a spa day, or it might be just taking the day off without guilt. That was always in the past one thing for me. I could not take a day off. 7 days a week, if I wasn't working on my business and I was working on my home, always had to, again, that was the message. So, what action step can you take that is aligned with your truth?
Yeah, I'd like to share one that might be something for you all to think about. So if you feel like you haven't been seen or honored, honor yourself. Maybe sit at a table, not in the living room, sit at a table with a nice meal that you've either cooked or ordered in, light a candle, honor yourself by making you feel special. Because once you start to make yourself feel special, you're going to notice other people noticing that you've changed, you've shifted, and then it expands out from there. So that's just one little small action step you can take to put the spotlight on you, to help you feel like you're seen.
Yeah, I love that, Terry.
Yeah, it's so easy. This doesn't have to be hard. The angels say we complicate everything, and we do.
We do. I mean, who here, have you ever bought flowers for yourself?
Mhm.
Yes, I have. Yes, yes, good. Yeah. It's a nice thing to do for yourself. I mean, if you like flowers, of course. I like what Suzanne said. I will initiate a video call on Tuesday with my friends where we can all support. That's beautiful. Yay, yay, yay. I love
I
that.
love it. I love it, Suzanne. And it's got the deadline in there. It's got your date of when you're going to do it. Yeah, all the steps are there for you.
So, looking at the bigger picture, okay, money PM. I know. 4 p.m. I got it. I was just joking with you. Okay, so we have that. And looking at the bigger picture, this is one thing I just want to mention briefly. So, the bigger picture, what is you and I individually by ourselves cannot change the whole world overnight, but understand that each of us, by changing our consciousness and injecting more understanding, more love, more awareness into the world, we are, in fact, changing the world, one person, one thought at a time. And how we show up, the energy that we bring to others, to relationships, it does change the world. Oh, I know what I put, one nervous system at a time. So, we're coming to the end of this. I just want to recap, and I'm sure that Terry has some things to say. So your brain, for the most part, has been doing exactly what it was designed to do, to protect you. And so it created stories and beliefs and patterns based on what you needed to survive or to belong or stay safe. And those stories are they weren't wrong, they were adaptive. But what kept you safe then may no longer be supporting you now. So what we did was we noticed the noise, noticed how you were on autopilot, named the story, bringing the unconscious to conscious level, questioning those beliefs that are false. And Terry did that great releasing the somatic release to get rid of some of that residue, listening to your inner truth and reconnecting to your inner truth, the wiser part of you. And then you gave your brain direction on what it needs to do, clarified your vision, and you chose your aligned action, hopefully. And if you didn't do it now, you will do it, right? Hopefully you did write it. So, yeah, I want to open it up. I know, Terry, you have more to probably, I'm sure you have more to add to this, but you don't need to know the entire path right now. You just have to walk the path, and you just have to be honest about it. And every little small aligned step that you take is helping you and the world. Remember that too. I mean, I want to go back to that. Whatever you're doing to increase your awareness and consciousness, you're giving to the world as well. And God knows we need that right now. And another reminder that you'll be getting all of the printouts of the questions so you can use it. It'd be like your little workbook anytime you want to go back over it and do the steps. You can work on most of us have more than one area that we need to work on. And so now you have the tools to do that. So move forward courageously and stay in alignment with your truth. You're all such beautiful, heartfelt souls for sure. And it comes through. And I appreciate the fact that you guys have spent this time with us. So thank you. You're a blessing. Really.
Yeah, what I would like to add right here is don't get overwhelmed. Sometimes, you get motivated and you get excited because you've got all this little new tool that we have presented you with today. And then you realize, oh, what did I do? I took a really big bite. So start with baby steps. That's the best way to honor yourself, is not to put something else on your plate that's going to overwhelm you. Start with baby steps. What can I do right now that I can maybe test the waters? Can I make a phone call to somebody? Can I, like I was sharing, can I sit down with a really good meal to honor myself and to make me feel special? A candle, a bubble bath. Just something small, and then grow it from there. Let it expand out as you start paying more attention to what your body's asking you for. What is it needing? What are you really craving inside of you to have happen, and that shift and that change? It'll happen. You don't have to take all of it at one time. It's like that old saying, how do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time. So take the little baby steps, take the little bites, and then you'll take more. And before you know it, you'll have a whole new pattern of really honoring yourself. I used to say, what difference does it make? I'm just one person. What difference does it make if I'm happy? What difference does it make if I'm smiling or sharing love and joy and compassion into the world? And then I discovered heart brain and that heart math, heart brain coherence that I always lead people in. I learned from the scientist that what we are putting out from ourselves, our energy, matters, because it goes into that big pool of all of us that are inhabiting the planet. All of our energy goes into that pool together. So if I'm exhibiting anger, anxiety, frustration, guess what? That brings the frequency down of the whole population. If I'm exhibiting the higher extreme, love, compassion, joy, it raises the frequency. What you feel, what you experience, what you share, and the way you live your life, it matters. So I want you to, if you have to put a Post-it note in front of you, remind yourself, it matters if I'm smiling. It matters if I say, I love you. It matters if you treat somebody with honor and respect and dignity, because you are changing the planet with the way that you are bringing forth your story. So I hope that helps you to put that into perspective, that, you know, we're going to feel what we feel. We're going to get angry sometimes, and that's okay. Don't criticize, don't judge. Just move beyond it. Don't live in it. Because when you live in it, you're bringing yourself down and you're bringing all of us down. And I don't like to be brought down.
Yeah.
So, so honor it, and then take that action step to move forth from it. That's what I wanted to share.
That's beautiful, Terry. Thank
Mhm.
you. Yeah. And it's, you know, it's a challenge living in this world with, again, with all the noise. And so often I'm sure we can hear ourselves say, how could they do that? Or how dare they say that? And it's not like we can't have opinions or observations, but we don't have to allow it to negatively affect us. And that doesn't mean that you don't take steps. You've heard the story, heard this over and over again. If you can change a situation, by all means, change it. If you cannot change it, if you don't have the power to change it, then for your peace of mind, you have to accept it. Accept it is not condoning. I want to make that so clear. Acceptance is not saying, oh, that's okay. Acceptance is acknowledging the situation as it is. And a lot of times within that acceptance, you'll be surprised what inspirational thoughts may come through you that might actually be able to have an effect and change the situation. So acceptance is a very, very important part of our growth and our peace. And I love what Suzanne said. I just realized that when the noise gets too loud, I isolate. That keeps me safe. We'll be changing that. Yay. That's good.
Yes. And remember that, I don't know who said it originally, but what you resist persists. So Michelle, when you were talking about allowing, it's not that you're waving a white flag, you're really looking at it more realistically. Can I do something? And if I can't do something, physically do something, what can I do inside of me? What change, what shift can happen inside of me to bring me to more peace, to bring me to a better place? So that's what that's all about. It's not giving up, it's not giving in, it's finding that peace inside. That's the goal.
Yes. Yes. And yes, affirmative. So do you all have any questions?
Yeah, let's process this a little bit. So we've given you a lot of information. We've given you steps to take. And so it's time for us to listen to you now. And, you know, not just, oh, this was a great workshop. We know it is. That's not egotistical. That's like, you know, the work has been put in to bring this to you. What we want to know is, how are you doing with this, with what was presented? What are your thoughts? Do you think that you can move forward, taking an action step now with what you've got? Do you think that you can revisit some of the things that we brought to you, some of these exercises, some of these questions? And what would you like to see happen going out the door today, out the Zoom door?
Zoom door, yeah.
I see a world
at one time.
I see a world of possibilities and a framework to refer to help them put them into action.
Good. Yes. Yes, that is a point.
You think you'll be taking action?
Oh yeah, right away.
You mean that?
That commitment is not to me and Michelle. There she is.
Yeah.
It's not to us. That commitment is to you.
Yes. Yes.
Thank you, Linda.
It's the same. I will, I was on that path already. That was 2026. My word for me was moving forward, a movement. So I had those thoughts and it just affirmed it to me. And one of my action steps, my old manager offered me a job again at the same company, and I will negotiate a higher pay because I'm worth it. And so it's going to be my first action step put into action. Yes. Can we have printouts for all those steps? Do you have anything like that? That would be helpful if I had something, because there was so much said, but all those steps, I don't know if you have a little booklet or a printout or so that we could print, that I can look at those questions for whatever.
No, you're getting all the pages. You're getting
okay, awesome.
You can put it together like a workbook if you like. You're getting all the
that.
Just give me like 24 hours, okay, to get it together.
Yep.
And I guess Terry, you have everybody's email address, even if I don't, right?
I do.
Yeah, I'll put it together. Okay.
Next.
Okay, so who's watching the Super Bowl tomorrow? Okay, who's going to win?
Not the Patriots.
Seattle.
Sorry, I'm an Eagles fan, so the Patriots can't win.
I'd like to hear other people. Anybody else, what do you have to share?
I'll go real quick, I guess. I had a realization of me procrastinating and basically self-sabotaging, and it's of what it's actually connected to and where it stemmed from that I completely forgot about. And it's about keeping me small and keeping me stuck where I'm at, and and not being seen by people, because, and Michelle knows this, that my ultimate goal is to finish my book and be an author and, help people and go in that direction in my career. But I'm keeping myself stuck by procrastinating. And I remember this memory when I was a kid that I was in a commercial as a kid. Like, my dad owned a car lot, and I was a little local celebrity. Not really. But anyway, so I thought it was like the best thing in the world. I thought it was so cool, and I loved it until I went to school and all the kids made fun of me, right? So that told me not to trust my own thoughts of what I think is good, and that, I put the opinions of others ahead of mine. And so I'm ultimately really afraid of rejection, and I'm afraid of being judged. So I'm purposely procrastinating on things to get to the next level. And it's weird how my brain made all of these connections, that it's coming out in that way of something like that. So yeah, very, very enlightening for me.
Oh, thank you. So do you have an action step, Erica?
Yes, and we actually already talked about it, and I've been procrastinating on not procrastinating. And it's yes. I literally am finding any excuse of not to do these things, which is basically streamlining my work, so I can free up more time to focus on my creative pursuits.
Wow.
But I didn't realize where it stemmed from until today, because I completely forgot about my childhood experience, and it's ultimately just the fear of being judged and seen, not trusting myself.
Don't you love it when, these things are there? Mm-hmm. They're there in our brain, these memories, or these experiences, but we wonder, why do I feel that way? And then,
it was like it unlocked in my brain, because I don't think I ever would have made the connection that it stemmed from there. I completely forgot about it. But it was traumatizing as a kid, and it put me in this loop of not trusting myself and basically being steered by others' opinions, which,
So true.
mhm.
I posted a meme the other day on my Facebook page, and it was for me. The outcome you want is on the other side of everything you don't feel like doing today. So, which
Love that.
could
Definitely.
help procrastinating, right? But that's a great realization. Yeah.
Okay, who do we have left? Grace Isis, Charlie, Andrea.
I'll go. I like having the tools. For me, that helps my brain, so I don't keep spiraling around and around. And with the examples that you guys gave and the other participants really helped. It made me feel like, well, first of all, that I'm not alone, and that people do, have some of the same thoughts, and to pull it back to childhood and that kind of stuff was really enlightening. Very helpful. Again, I can't say enough. It was just, I think, one of the best classes. So thank you, ladies, for everything.
Wow.
And all the participants, couldn't say the word, really helpful.
Thank you. Right?
Thank you, Andrea.
Thank you, really.
And you have an action step coming up, I'm sure.
Oh, I have several that I thought of, but one was to declutter, and the other one was to talk to you about Reiki. So I will be doing that. I will be emailing you.
Yay.
So thank you.
So happy. And you're also, I think, was it you or was it Suzanne that's going to do the video call?
Well, I'm on the video call, so I was very excited about that.
That's Suzanne. Yeah.
It's going to make
Awesome.
sure it happens.
There you go.
It is
awesome. I love it. Collaboration.
Terry, we have, when we did your SEE workshop, the super empowerment,
right?
We are the accountability group, and we still meet and have video chats, Linda, Andrea, Erica, and I. So
I knew you had started that. So, I'm so happy to hear it's still going.
Wow.
Yes.
Yay.
So we can add this thing of, what Michelle mentioned, give 5 minutes for everybody for what we want to visualize and do.
The intention.
Yeah. So that's perfect.
What I do, I mean, I'm sure you don't really need this instruction, but I'll just say it anyway. So when I do it on a Zoom call, what I do is when we're doing our 3 minutes, everybody mutes and everybody shuts off their video for that 3 minutes or 10 minutes or whatever. So there's no distraction. So you're able just to focus, and then somebody's a timekeeper. So.
Okay. And it's, I think that was all started by Lynn McTaggart. So if you all want to look up what she does with the Power of Eight,
yeah.
You don't have to have 8 people, but that's what she started the experiment with, was 8 people and doing just this, setting the intention, everybody focusing on that intention together.
Would you type that name in the comments?
I sure will.
Are you going to do it, or should I do it? Are you doing it?
I'm doing it.
Okay.
Okay, we got Charlie and Gracie.
Oh, all right. I'll let Gracie go first. She's
really, Charlie. Thank you, a gentleman always. Chivalry,
always the gentleman.
Chivalry is not dead, so thank you. To me, it was a very helpful workshop, and I'm very grateful for the tools, which I know all of us are, and in particular because I'm on a trajectory, I'm on a move, but I feel now that I can incorporate these tools because, I've made moves. I have now 2 different jobs. I work one place 2 days, another place 3 days, and I'm asking myself, so what's going on? Where are you moving? So these tools are going to be very good for me. I've already seen some of my actions, and for example, I've bumped into 3 total strangers who've all retired, and I said, all right, perhaps this is what I'm being told, so that I can manage my time and move forwards with my doula work, and doing things for myself, picking up on pet doula, animal doula work, because there's a lot of opportunity here in New York City. A lot of people have pets, so I'm very I'm happy. Let me say, I'm so content now that I feel, okay, Grace, you can move on. As I said, take courage, you can do it. And maybe even, I feel that the universe has given me, and I have some abundance. So it's okay to let go of certain aspects of my journey and move on to those that are calling to me. So thank you. To me, this is a big wow, eye-opener, and I'm going to try diligently to keep to these tools and use them as often, maybe always, as I can. Thank you very much.
Well, Gracie, I'm going to be Yoda here. There is no try, there is only do.
Only do.
Yes. Thank you for that reminder.
Welcome, you are.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Love you, Gracie. Thank you for being here.
Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Michelle, and thank you, Terry, for putting this beautiful class together. And I just been going through a lot of physical issues, in the past couple of months, another heart surgery, and then I had a virus for a month. 3 weeks or a month where I'd get chills, fevers, and sweating, and it was like for 3 or 4 weeks, and I'm still not back to myself. It's almost like my brain is being rewired. I had my body temperature goes down to like 90 degrees.
Ooh.
At nighttime and stuff, and I've stopped taking my medication because that even lowers it even lower, and I've been watching my blood pressure, and and I get very tired. After a couple hours, I'll have to lay down and go to bed, and, take a nap for a couple hours, and get recharged up, and then I'm good for 3 or 4 hours, whatever. But it's like my brain is being rewired in there, and it almost feels like that. But it's really, I get so cold when your body temperature is down to 91 degrees or 90 degrees. I'm like, oh, well, I got to get under the covers and put the heat on so I can get back to back to a little bit of normalcy. But I'm trying to work through it. See what happens with the medications. I stopped the medications one before, and then the blood pressure went high again. So I had to go back on some of them. But I take so many natural things that it's lowering the blood pressure where I probably don't need the medication anymore. And I just seen a cardiologist the other day, and he says, "Oh, keep doing your blood pressure medication." And I'm like, "Oh my God." I'm like, but I listen to my body. When it's that low, I can't take blood pressure medicine to make it even lower. So I know that. So but anyway, it's, I'm working my way through it, and maybe this is the way it's going to be from now on, that I just gotta, live with it. Maybe this is the new me, or, maybe the brain will rewire or come back to itself. I don't know what's going on, so anyway, that's where I'm at. But just do whatever makes your heart sing. That's what I got. And flowers, you can get them for anyone. The last time I bought flowers, I bought 2 bundles. I gave one to the cash register lady, and I gave it to the other one to the cash register lady to give to the next person in line. So
Oh,
it's
sweet.
and that just
Sweet.
that just
You
made
know,
my day.
Charlie, you just had surgery recently, so
Yeah,
you have
yeah,
to,
right. Yeah, I know. So maybe I need more time to heal.
you're a good soul. A good soul.
Thank you for sharing that, Charlie. Is there anything at all that you can think of that might be a next action step for you? I know you're going through a lot physically, but is there some direction you can think of to start making a shift?
Well, I'll keep on checking my blood pressure and see where I go, and you know, hopefully, if I don't have to get back onto maybe all the blood pressure medications, I take so many natural things, and maybe the natural things for the brain are doing what they're supposed to do, and they're rewiring my brain. I don't know.
So I hear an action step to become more consciously aware of what's going on with the physical body. Maybe journal that, maybe write down like a daily log of this is how I felt. This is a medication that I stopped, and then check with your doctor. So that could be an action step for you.
Right. Yeah.
I don't know if you've ever considered this. I'm just throwing it out. Have you ever considered consulting a functional doctor, a functional medicine physician?
What is that?
Functional medicine, I guess, looks at, I've never been, but I just do know that there are people who have gone through it, and they look at the body as a whole. And they also I know a friend of mine had mold in her house, and she went to a functional medicine doctor, and they got rid of a lot of the toxins that were, in her body. So I think it's more of an advanced type of health treatment.
Right.
But if you look up functional medicine, it can explain a little bit more to you, and it's more of a whole body treatment.
Okay.
I know a couple of people who go, actually, and they're happy with it.
All right. Maybe that's one of the steps I need to take. And
Yeah, at least look at it and consider it.
Right.
Well, I just want to say thank you to all of you. I appreciate the feedback, and I'm excited that you are thinking already of those next steps, and make some goals, set things down that this is what I'd like to see happen. This is the shift I'd like to make. Thank you to all of you for being here and for sharing of yourself.
Yes. And Erica just wrote, also look up Riff machines.
Yeah, Rife machines, they've been around for a while.
Yeah.
Pay attention that you're getting a legitimate one because there's a lot of knockoffs out there. The Rife machines use frequency to heal whatever's going on. They're set for different things. Like if you have a headache, you can play a frequency that'll knock the headache out of you. So yeah, it's a definite tool that's being used by naturopaths and functional medicine doctors. So it's a real great tool to have available.
I forgot about that, considering the fact I have one, which is called Spooky. It's from Germany, right?
Mhm.
And it's called Spooky 2 or Spooky.
Oh, sorry, Michelle. I don't want to interrupt, but you have a Spooky too, because I was literally just looking at that the other day of buying one. And you like it?
Well, I did like it. I don't want to say I don't like it now. I haven't. It was one of those things that I did use for a while, and I liked it, and then I stopped using it. So, but it has to be. I have to get it reprogrammed again because, as Terry was pointing out, it releases these electrical impulses for certain. There's codes that you have to put the codes in for all different areas, but yeah, I can turn you on to somebody who knows how to, program them as well. So yeah, I'll let you know that, Erica, if you're interested.
Yeah, my birthday's coming up, and I was giving my husband things he could get me, and that's what I want.
Wow.
Yeah, I have a naturopath that I work with and a holistic doctor, and he's wonderful at programming and working with people with whatever's going on and telling you the best of the codes, like Michelle was saying, and what you can do.
Well,
yeah, he's brought people from like stage 4 cancer to cancer free. And that's what he uses. He uses the Rife machine.
Yeah.
How do you spell that, Terry?
RIFE. F is in Frank.
Oh, Rife machine. Okay.
And the one that you might, as I said, might want to look into as well is it was called Spooky 2 or Spooky 2 Scalar. Let me just put that in there.
Yeah, that was the one I was literally just looking up the other day, was the Spooky 2, because the regular Rife machines are like, $7,000. And this is way more affordable.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, the one that I got was I think $450. I'm pretty sure. But there are ones that are more expensive than that. Definitely, the future is now. This is futuristic, but we know that energy is within everything, and we're just now really figuring out how beneficial it can be by being able to channel that energy in a way that is healing. Energy does heal, the right energy, and that it can be tuned just well, if you liken it to a radio from, I guess everybody knows what a radio is. I think I'm just saying because
they're not obsolete yet.
They're not obsolete yet. But when if you turn the dial or press the buttons or whatever to get that right until it gets to that exact station where the bandwidth is, if I'm using the right words, is correct, is hooking up or whatever, you know what I'm saying, then it's just going to be fuzzy. But as soon as you hit that right bandwidth, I don't know if somebody can explain it better, but I think
frequency.
Frequency. Thank you.
Yeah.
When you tune into the right frequency, the correct frequency, then you hear clearly what's being broadcast. And it's the same thing with these machines. It's tuning it to the right frequency for your body. But you have to, first, your body has to be examined through that machine, and it'll tell you what's off and what's wrong. And that's what convinced me to buy it the first time, because she was right on. And all she did, I wore earphones and she hooked me up to the machine, and she could tell what was, what issues I had in my body.
Yeah.
So it was pretty incredible.
Yeah, well,
And Matt programmed it.
Yeah, I've been doing sound healings for the last 2 weeks for about an hour a day. So, which also has been
Yes.
lowering my pressure and
Yeah.
everything. So,
And that frequencies as well.
right.
Yes.
So that's I just have to cut back. I was getting ready for my first class or whatever it was, which I had on Thursday, which had 68 people there. So
Yeah.
it went okay, and I just but I was drained for a day or two. It just takes so much out of you when you're doing it. I mean, the people feel it, and it's really good to them, but it affects me like 5 or 10 times more than them, and I'm just like on another planet for a day or two.
Wow.
So it's like my body just said rest, rest, rest. I'm like, okay, rest, rest, rest.
It knows what it needs.
Exactly. Yeah. So, but anyway, I'm going to shorten up on the sound healings a little bit. Yeah. Not do it every day, and maybe once or twice a week, and yeah.
Listen to your body.
All right. Thank you,
All right.
everyone.
Michelle, anything else you want to add before we leave?
Well, I just have to say thank you all for trusting us. And you're all really a beautiful light. It was very, very uplifting for me as well. So I got to thank you for that, because just feeling your energy and your enthusiasm, I just thank you. Thank you all so much.
Thank you for putting it together and the steps that you did. It flowed really well.
Yes.
It was very helpful.
We'll have to check in with everybody. Well, we'll be in touch with everyone, but we'll check in to see how you're all doing with the steps and everything.
Okay.
And you'll
All
be
right.
getting those worksheets so you
Yeah.
can continue to work on this at your own pace. I'll write something up with that little release that I did for you.
Oh,
So
great.
the scanning, and I really like that idea that you can reach in and just pull it out, right? Just pull it out and then talk to it and work with it. And it does create a shift inside of you.
Shirley MacLaine did that years ago.
Yeah, she was very advanced, wasn't she, for her time?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you
Right.
guys so much. God bless you all.
Thank you.
Yes.
Blessings
Enjoy
and
the rest of
love.
your weekend.
Thank you. I love you.
Love
Thank you. I
you.
love
Thank
you.
you.
That's
I
our
love you
special
all.
message, isn't it, for us peas?
Yeah.
And what is it? Stay in your heart and stay blessed.
Stay blessed.
Yes.
Perfect.
All right.
Yeah.
I'm trying to record